Hello and good evening for this Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. We just finished watching episode 5 of Survivor 44. And we're here to recap it and break it all down and analyze it here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. I'm Dave Mader, back from vacation and here to talk about another episode. I'm, of course, joined with Jaemeel Robinson.
Hello. The team is back together.
The team's part of it, Jeff Mader not here at the moment, but at least I'm joining you guys here on the podcast as I've not been able to make the Big Brother Canada podcast as of recently. And Josh Foster, how are you doing tonight, Josh?
Doing well, thanks. Doing well. Happy to be here.
Glad to be back with you guys. I was of course away last week, so I wasn't able to make it. I was off. Yes, in Jamaica, and it was a great vacation. And I'm feeling a little bit sick, but nothing too serious, and nothing a sinus Advil can't cure. But if there's a little frog in my throat, I apologize. Rocking the beard. They call me the Bearded Dave now. So guys, this was an interesting one tonight as the third turd. There's no tribal council in this episode. I can't remember. I know this has happened before where we get no tribal, whatever. And I think that they would have had this tribal had it not been for what's his name? Bruce.
Matt.
But the fact that Bruce was medically evacuated early too, they're like, we don't have enough episodes left to also vote somebody out here, I think. Or they didn't want to lose their double tribal maybe down the road.
If I'm correct on my memory, Bruce was the one who used to wear these stylish Italian shoes and got evacuated because he ate too much food during a feast, and they had to send him home because he had stomach pains.
What season was that in?
I actually was following up on this because I was doing a little researchy thing, and give me a second. I can probably tell you.
No worries. And Josh, we haven't actually spoken about last week's episode either, which I was not here to talk to you guys about. Of course, I've seen it now, and I, this was probably lost on you guys, but both of my draft picks, Josh and Carson, both got swapped. They both got sent to other tribes, and I was like, "Uh-oh, this is big trouble for me." I'm probably, and then Josh ends up in that tribal. Last week where Sarah ends up getting voted out instead because Carolyn kind of does this flip on her tribe on Jam, which is very much covered in this episode as well. So I gotta say that one was exciting. That one was more exciting, I think, than maybe this episode, although I liked this episode too for just character development and some other things. How do you feel about it?
First of all, Carolyn is by far the best thing that has happened to this season in a long time. Series, I mean, right?
The show, yeah.
The show. But it's because she's so authentic and she puts off that she doesn't understand like the production or whatever, or the process. She's not wowed by the whole glitz and glamour of it, right? Mm-hmm. She's still like, once again, like I think authentic is a very good word for her to use, right? Because everything she does seems like a normal reaction, right? Like
yes.
It doesn't seem like anything is forced.
No, what you see is what you get with Carolyn, I think, pretty much. She is who she is.
And it was even like in every episode, like even tonight I'm watching and I'm just like, there's another clip.
I know. I can't even pull them all in like the 15 to 20 minutes we have in between here. I did pull, Carolyn is pretty much the gold of this season. I agree. It will be a travesty, I think, if she doesn't win this season now. Like I didn't draft. I want her to win so bad. I think that's
Jeff drafted her.
Josh Foster drafted her, right?
No, wait, do you have her?
I drafted her, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Foster, along with
you so hard,
and you have Kane as well.
I have Kane. I have the two most likable from a viewer standpoint.
Perhaps. They're up there.
So a little cleanup. Sam is correct.
I have no Sarah clips. Come on.
It was from Survivor Go Wrong, and it was Joe Del Campo.
Joe Del Campo. Okay.
Yes.
And so he quit like before, and so, but he was on a winning tribe that allowed a losing tribe not to go to tribal.
They didn't have tribal that one. Keep in mind that was the same season where 3 people went down.
Right. They're like, but this he was only the second technically, and he wasn't. Matthew here wasn't
the third, wasn't he? Neil, it was Caleb for heat stroke exhaustion.
Oh, yeah.
Then
I mean, in this season, I was sort of going back to this season, like that.
Wait, there's still time.
I know there's still time, of course, but it was. I felt like in this episode, like because Matthew didn't technically get medically evacuated, his injury was not life threatening, as far as I could tell. It was very painful. It was very, there's potentially long term trauma and other issues that you can develop, but he wasn't going to die from this. So he had to choose to quit the game. They weren't going to pull him from the game. And so I don't know, I can't, in that other example, there were 3 people medically evacuated, whatever. This season already had Bruce medically evacuated for, smashing his head off the top of that post like he did. So they come to a losing tribe here, a tribe that lost a challenge that was supposed to vote somebody out, and they didn't. They end up all 3 of them it was like it was like an execution, Josh, and they were coming at them saying like, somebody's going on death row tonight. You don't know who it's going to be. It's a little bit of roulette. Guess what? There's been a clemency, a pardon from the governor at the 11th hour, and you're going to be okay.
It's terrible. I wanted Josh God.
So did Carolyn.
The Josh who sucks, not Foster who doesn't.
Of course. And it's funny. It's ironic because I'm writing down Josh in the game, his name so many times in my list, right? Because and the main one that came out to me is Josh is just awful. Like, and I felt like that was kind of like just funny for me. But anyways, regardless, right? It's just his smugness. It's just
his smugness. He may be one of the worst Survivor players I've ever seen.
I don't know where he gets himself. Like once again, like he's top of his class, meaning that he's probably in the top 5% or no less percent or 1%.
Yeah, then that's a great feat, and especially in medical school, it's like that's a tough subject.
But anyways, it seems like he's used to getting the praise of him doing whatever he does, right? Like he doesn't get told as like you understand, or like this is the reality of the situation, right? So, but anyways, I wanted him out too, Jaemeel.
I was like, I just wanted him to get his comeuppance with what we saw during the course of this episode, and how smug he was is a great word for how he was playing this entire episode and how things fell apart. Literally.
Yeah, his idol literally falls apart. But then he gets a reprieve here because Matthew climbed a mountain on day 2 and fell off of it, like that cliff, whatever it was. He's like, I have no regrets except for maybe climbing that cliff. Yeah. It was completely unnecessary, and just okay. And let's just relive that moment again, because how can we not? Where's my Matthew falling off of his thing here? I know I have it. Oh no, I don't have it. I don't have that clip. I know I've showed it before.
He was okay. Just imagine this is a cliff, and then he climbs up, and then he falls.
Yeah, it's just you see actually give way. Like he pulls up a piece of rock that gives out, and that's kind of why he fell. But it's also
I disagree, Dave. He did not fall because of that. He fell because he climbed up there in the first place.
Well, yes, if it would, the rock would not have given if he had not pulled on it with his arm.
Yes.
In the first place. Of course,
he had no business being up there. That's what I mean.
Yeah, he was. They had a drone shot. He was trying to be on TV. I think and I think that's the cautionary tale of Matthew. Is you might be saying you're on a TV show and you want to show off for the cameras and the producers and you want to be good TV and that's true, but like this was just reckless, so you got to be a little bit more safe out there because it doesn't take much. It doesn't, really, you don't have, when you're in the game, they will not give you more than superficial medical care. They're not going to like give you pain meds and all this stuff. So
it's not Christmas in Big Brother.
No, you're not getting sent to like surgery while you're in Big Brother, like in whatever that was, Big Brother 20 or whatever it was. Anyway, so guys, we'll just walk through all the episode moments here, starting on night 9, and this episode will end on night 11. So 2 days in the span of this, we see sort of like the aftermath here between Jam and I want to say Foster, but it's not Jam. And Josh and Carolyn, where there's like obviously Jam was left out of the vote. Sarah got voted out, and this episode's really about them, these three, like largely a little bit about Matthew, and very little. It's like, in terms of like what goes on in Soka, the Green Tribe. It's kind of more about Franny and Buddy there, Matt,
and Jaemeel.
A little bit of Jaemeel, but I was not entertained with that part. So we saw that result of when Sarah got voted out with the frowny face. Guys, I loved this last week. I thought this was a great thing Carolyn did. I think that this was actually, even though she's not like keen to work with Josh moving forward, I don't think that this was a bad move for Carolyn in her game at this particular moment, because they could have voted out Josh. They could have fooled him into not playing his idol. This all came down to Carolyn. And so I guess we'll see how the long term plays out, because I don't know if you guys saw the preview for next week. Did you guys?
Well, they're showing a lot of Franny and Matt again. Well, that's gonna happen.
Well, they were showing Franny and Matt, but guys, the big announcement in the next time on Survivor was drop your buffs. They're going to merge now.
I could have sworn someone said 2 episodes ago that they were going to do another tribal, right? We're going to get another episode, and then we're going to get a merge. And so said, so done.
I thought you said 3 episodes. Did you know?
It has been 3 episodes.
Okay, yeah, maybe because I wasn't here last
week. Because the next episode would be the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
So 1 tribal and another episode, and then merge.
Because how many people are still left in the game? We've only lost 6 people. So there's still.
Can you name all 6? Without looking at a sheet.
Yeah, well, Bruce, Maddie, Helen, Claire, Sarah, and now
You're
Matthew.
looking at a sheet.
I'm always looking at a sheet. But the other thing too is there'll be 12 people left in the game now. So assuming they're doing 3 at the end. So I'm just doing the math there. That would leave would they do a jury of 9? You think, Jaemeel?
Right now there's 12 people.
12 people. There will be presumably 3 finalists. 3 people eligible in the final tribal.
I think tribe of 8.
Tribe of 8. So you think? So I think that the next person voted out in the merge will not be the first juror. That was kind of what the trend we're seeing in the last few seasons.
Yeah.
So. And if it ends up being, I don't know who would get voted out here, but yeah, we saw this big blind side. The Jam might entertain me quite a bit in this episode. All three of these Tika people are characters, like for sure. They're good TV, and I'm glad that they at least got to play together here. And they're not really a united 3 going into this merge at all. I think that maybe they'll be underestimated. Maybe that they'll be like looked at as like not worth going after.
This is Dave, if I may, as I always say. I know that was great, right?
You may.
I know, right? This is a good moment because you just prop them up in terms of the characters on Tika, right? And this is a great moment to say how production once again gets saved with Matthew bailing out, because they're just like, oh geez, we got to eliminate one of these characters, and who's it gonna be? And anyways, none of them go home.
Yeah. Sam I know you love your Sarah, but she's not. She's done on the show.
Remember, we talked about this, Sam. You don't want her too famous because then she's inaccessible. She's like at the right level of celebrity.
Yeah. You don't want a post merge Survivor Crush. You want a pre merge, more accessible, easier to get to. Get the autograph when there's that meet and greet.
Her cameo is going to be like $15.
Yeah. Yeah, and then well, I think Sam's also pointing out that Matthew, he can't heal because he's malnourished. I'm only getting a few hundred calories a day. I can't hear my shoulder. Causes like.
Oh, he's talking about Joe DeCampo.
Oh, Joe DeCampo. But I guess the same thing applies here. But guys, can I ask you? Because we also saw in this little montage that comes at the end of the episode here with Josh, that he said like he was born with this kidney issue and was not supposed to get through adolescence. And then when he was like 20, he got. Was it stomach cancer? Is that what we found out?
He got stomach cancer and he got a stomach transplant.
A stomach. Because he was like, I had my stomach removed. I was like, but they put a new one in, right? You can't live without a stomach.
I shouldn't say transplant. I should say they probably, jiggled some kind of alternative.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously a very skinny guy. I don't know if he eats that much or what is like sort of condition is now, because how old is Josh now? Josh is 34, so this happened like maybe 15 years ago. He had this surgery, so I was just curious, but I'm glad he's a survivor. And then of course, Carolyn's had some great moments in her confessionals in this episode, as she often does. I especially like this one.
I know, though, I gotta do what's best for my game, which would probably be Josh. Ah!
Ah! She's a lot of fun, guys. I gotta tell you, the way she's even how this season started off with her like talking to that producer. This is like her. She's getting better at this too. She's kind of figured out the game, how she's communicating on the show.
So here's what's gonna happen. Even if she doesn't win, she's gonna win because she's getting that Sia money.
Oh yeah,
she's a lock. She's a lock for it.
And do they do like a favorite player or America's favorite player?
No, they do the Sia money now.
Did you Sia money now?
Yeah.
Sia was on that like Miley Cyrus New Year's special, and I was like, "There's Sia. I know her from Survivor." That's my knowledge of Sia. But I think that Carolyn is a fantastic TV character, and I would love to see her play more Survivor. She's entertaining.
Survivor, Big Brother. I wanted to play everything. The challenge. I would watch the challenge if she's on it.
Yeah. Who's that?
Carolyn.
Oh, she would not last at all, unfortunately.
Then that's how many episodes I'll watch.
Yeah, guys, let's talk about Ratu. And we saw here that this was kind of set up. Matthew waking up in a ton of pain with his dislocated shoulder. I think he also had a lot of cuts, and he had other injuries, superficial injuries that maybe are doing better. But yeah, he's he talks about how he's been training for years to be on Survivor, and this was it. And so you feel for him to varying degrees, but it's I think we do have the clip here where we get to see it all play out again, right? Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, I do have it. Just like so. It's the right shoulder, right? That's the injured one.
Yeah, that one there.
It's this one here. So but what I don't understand about this fall.
It's his left shoulder. It's his left shoulder.
His left shoulder. Okay, I mean his left.
Yes.
So
from our perspective, is
where does he hurt the left shoulder? I guess.
Look how we overextend. It's because from behind it gets hit.
It gets hit from behind?
Yeah, look at the position he's in.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it actually should be his right that should be more injured by the way I would interpret this fall, but it's actually his left that he ended up dislocating in this whole thing. So yeah, playing that out, she's talking to Kane. Kane, they seem to have a good relationship and just connection here. I don't know if I wanted to see more Matthew in this game anyways. So guys, like this was fine. He was crying. Also on Tika, we see Carson, my guy, formerly of the Tika tribe, now over here. Learning how to bond with everybody. I like how he said he was like, I'm closer with these Ratu people than they are with each other. And once they figure that out, I'm done.
No, once they figure it out, they're done. Like he's gonna eliminate the people that.
Oh yeah, but he's saying like it will be too late for them to figure it out.
They're gonna be gone. Whoever figures it out, I'm gonna get rid of them.
Right. Yeah. I was, I'm excited that Carson's in the merge. I think interesting to see how he plays as a factor. He'll be getting back presumably, I guess, now with Jam and Carolyn, right? So maybe, but maybe not. Like
he's gonna ask what happened to Sarah. What happened to Sarah?
What happened to? Hey guys, well, he already knew she got voted out, but not why. But guys, the connection here between Kane and Carson, I think, is an interesting one. The two nerds talk about Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Pokemons, all those good things.
Pokemons. So what happens when Kane, Carson, Matt, and Franny all come together? Are they gonna make some nerd Voltron and just destroy the rest of the game?
It would be just like the Go Power Rangers coming together.
Wait, Kane is the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
Carson is the Purple Ranger.
Well, there's never a Purple Ranger because I think the Japanese have something against purple or something. But
this is the Survivor American version.
Okay.
So we'll see, and we'll see what colors Matt and Franny have.
Yeah, so these connections, but more of just Matthew. And who's the other one in this tribe? Jamie? Is she on the Ratu tribe?
I think so.
Hold on, I got it here.
You know what her name is? Inconsequential.
Well, she was she's got like that fake idol for Matthew. He had the immunity idol. He got the cage, so he's leaving the game with that in his pocket, never having told it.
She also has a real idol as well now.
Do you think do you think we'll get a clip next week where he gives his real idol to Jamie Lynn as he goes out of the game, or do you think you left with it?
We should give it to Carson or Kane, honestly.
Well, yeah, because Jamie Lynn, he was kind of playing. He was she was just like this player he was going to drag along and then probably cut somewhere along the way.
Very true. Very true.
Commercials. Yeah, and then we let's talk about the Green Tribe.
Green Ranger there, Matt.
Yeah, he's a Green Ranger. We got Matt here. We got Heidi and Jaemeel Lynn. I think are potentially somebody I could see those two working together here in the next stage of the game. We got Heidi. We got Matt B. Josh is no longer on this tribe, but who came over to this tribe?
She did. The Yogi.
Oh, Jaemeel Lynn.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So she was on the orange, right?
Yes.
Oh, so she definitely has. She's still. Then definitely not. Matthew could not have given her anything. So
that's why it would have been Kane or Carson. I would have believed
if he did it at all. If he was and who would he have picked? You think of those two?
He should have picked Kane, honestly, but it seemed like he was really close to Carson. So who knows? It would have. You know what? I would have been disappointed if he didn't leave the idol with Carson
or Kane, at least, because at least Kane was they had a good relationship. It seemed like, at least, and Carson bonded with Matthew in a very short amount of time too.
But he said it was a very close connection that they built.
Right.
Matt felt that.
Yeah, and good for them. And so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, this I'd say that this tribe is the least entertaining for me with this whole Franny and Matt romance. It's okay. But,
green.
You're blushing, as the producer I think says to her here in the episode, right? They're coming.
They're the same character. They're both green.
Yeah, they're both the Green Ranger. Coming together, hugging, and sure, it's it's.
Dave, I'm watching this and I'm like, Dave hates this. I know Dave is just rolling his eyes and just thinks it's garbage. He's like, move on.
I just think I don't want to be a cynic here because I'm happy for them that they're getting along and they seem to have a connection and everything. But in Survivor, I like how Franny was like, maybe after the game I would consider dating him, but she's at least willing to put that aside for the moment and say, at the moment he's my friend and we're working together at least.
I think the reason why we're seeing this isn't because it's just something to see. I think that Matt's going to end up being a sacrificial lamb for Franny. He's going to be the type of person who's going to be like, vote me out instead of Franny. And Franny's like, oh no, Matt, don't do it. Do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Matt. I could never play Survivor without you, Matt.
Vote for me in jury.
Right. Oh, I gotta get that picture. Okay. Yeah, and then we come back here to Jam Jam and Josh over on Tika, where these two. I didn't realize Josh was gay, and so they have like a conversation here, kind of like talking about that amongst other things that they don't trust each other and whatever. But they have like at least that connection. But
it's hilarious. It's the whole LGBTQ tribe. All three of them are LGBTQ.
Is Carolyn too?
She's pan.
She's pan. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what does like Jam Jam say to him in like his confessional? He's like, "What's with the bitch face?" You know, like to Josh here. I couldn't help but like.
He looks so sour.
Yeah,
Josh looks so sour in this episode.
I think it's like he's hungry, but like it's like they all are. But yeah, he's mostly just how I can't believe this Jam Jam guy would vote against me. Like his old tribe was ready to cut him. He thought he was like the swing vote. He thought he was in the middle. He wasn't. They were gonna, and so I just don't know if he's worth getting out, for a while. Now that they're in the merge, like, what's the point?
I wouldn't waste a vote on him. I would, if I was like a Jam Jam or Carolyn. I'm going after Danny or Brandon.
Oh yeah, well, Carolyn's coming for them. Yeah, we got to get to that part of the episode. Yeah, but just like these kind of conversations here between Josh and Jam Jam, which I enjoyed. I thought it was just watching this tribe of three kind of get these dynamics, and then like I think the exciting stuff is next week when all these people come together and seeing what the new dynamic is, because these tribes of six, like they're okay for a while, but at this point of the season, I'm like, let's get going, let's get into some real Survivor here, where it's just everybody for themselves.
Yeah,
I guess. Okay, we also see here, Josh is like fake idol with the tree mail, he's almost there. Josh has the right idea in some senses, but he's also got no execution.
Why have them hold it?
Like, remember, like I wasn't here for last podcast, but when he was like explaining that, I'm a personal trainer to the Tika tribe when he first came over, and they're like, why did you say in that one challenge that you should do this puzzle because of your skills with your hands? We didn't know you needed skilled hands to be a personal trainer. Because they were like, this guy's a doctor or something, and they completely figured out. He's like, no, I'm not. Yeah, it's in my pocket, guys.
That was Freddie, I think, who came up with that.
Would you just not want to play poker with Josh? He's just not the guy I think.
He doesn't bluff well at all.
Yeah, like this is a conversation about coming out and various things, and I thought this was a good moment. I enjoyed this between these two, and coming out, and then they knowing that they had to go into this next challenge together. There's Sarah for you, Sam.
Sam.
She's made a rare appearance here
On the commercials. They advertised her.
So, yeah. So we see this next, guys. The challenge that we got after this.
Okay. So Foster, how'd you feel about the challenge?
Well, this is one of the majority of pre-merge competitions, right? Because they don't do anything individual, and it's 2 obstacles, and then there's an end puzzle, right? Yeah. So that kind of fits that format, and that's
tied together fine. For the first part.
That's fine. Yeah, I understand that. I think that it could have been. Well, I guess that is what it is. It could have been harder, but I don't really know what they could have done at the moment.
Make the counterweight a little bit more, because 2 trips is kind of anticlimactic in my opinion.
Yeah, I felt like that was too easy, but they did it also well. The teams did also well. Like they had to go through, like we've seen this before, where they got like the Vulcan Calto of sticks with the different. It's a game of logic. We had to like get through there tied together. And then you had to pick up this bucket of water, and then that released your little gate and whatever, just to get to the maze with the balls, So
no one wet their shirts. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past too. I forgot about that. Yeah, but we've seen like
you're supposed to wet your clothes as well, and then when you get to the bucket, you squeeze out your clothes just to get those extra drops in.
Well, they needed to make this like at least 3 buckets if you wanted to get like that kind of tactic. But they weren't really. There was no necessity here. Now, granted, I think like Danny and Brandon and I think even Josh was doing it for Tika. They all did this part pretty well, like without much challenge. Like, the hardest part is you had to go over like this little teeter totter with the bucket of water. But Brandon,
I like that. It was good. I think that was a good obstacle for them because it was more of like a teamwork effort at the same time. But it was kind of added a good element to it. I liked it.
Yeah, it gave some challenge here. They all kind of did it well, as I mentioned. And then the puzzle, I don't know, this maze puzzle, I didn't find this super entertaining, guys. Like this was kind of I never do like the three, but like I think it's just this particular part or this type of puzzle.
I've just seen it so many times. I'm just bored of it.
Like
honestly.
it's fine. I think it's better when we get down to like the final 3 or whatever, or I guess the final whatever, like 6 people, whatever it is. Because I think that this kind of thing works better for an individual to try to do versus like 2 people trying to do this together. I don't know if it wasn't like I felt any kind of conflict here. I guess the ultimate conflict here was Jam and Josh trying to come together. They ultimately couldn't, because
it seems like they were off track for this entire puzzle, honestly.
Yeah, they just couldn't get. They kind of came close. It wasn't like a blowout, but it was. They were, especially early, they struggled. We had Brandon and Carson on the other side, and Matt and
who technically they should have won this challenge. They messed up once, and they still almost beat Carson and Brandon.
Right. Yeah. Well, the 2 competitors here, guys, Danny and Brandon. We got to talk about them because
wait a second. The 2 competitors, don't you mean Carson and Matt?
Well, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Like I meant more from, especially that bucket part. That felt like more Brandon and Danny.
Fair true.
That was more just about the strength. Like especially in Big Brother, guys. When we talk about Big Brother, it seems like the more muscles you have, it seems like the more value people want to associate to you in challenges. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're better at things, but like puzzles, or anything like that. So yeah, we see here they get there. Carolyn was left on the sidelines for the whole puzzle here. She had to kind of watch away as Jam and Josh tried to figure it out. What was the other thing here? Yeah, Danny says, Jeff, I never knew it was that close, like on TV. Like I thought you guys edited it, but he was like, it was totally real. That was.
Of course they edited it. Like,
yeah,
I kind of felt insulted by that statement.
Yeah. And at the end of this, okay, so there's the choice here. You guys get to send 3 people on a journey. The winning tribe, first place, gets to choose. Now, they had to at least consider that there was going to be some. I thought like maybe the person you send off here won't come back to your tribe. Maybe there would be that same thing that happened last week where there was kind of that rotation. That's not what happens because I think they're like, what's the point? We're about to go to the merge anyway. But it's they had to at least consider that was possibly going to happen. So Brandon chooses Danny and Carolyn, or at least the Tika tribe does, to go on this thing. Right. So even though Tika thinks they're going to tribal, like Carolyn's going to be cut out of that. So I don't know what was the strategy behind Ratu's choice there, but it was interesting because this was going to leave Jam and Josh together. Oh, get to these commercials. Woo. Okay, guys. So at the end of the challenge, we got to because at the end of the challenge he says, Matthew, I want to come see you over here and talk to you about your injury. And then the doctor came in, and I mentioned it before. I love every time Jeff talks to you about getting medical treatment. He loves bringing this doctor in. I think he needs to be the narrator of a medical drama or some kind of medical procedural show, at least on TLC. And
you need some Dr. Will.
I feel like they were. Yeah, maybe. I feel like they were really trying to talk Matthew. I think Probst in particular was trying to talk Matthew into quitting. He was like, you did so great. Like, okay, I got this. I had to pull this audio clip because you would never hear Jeff say this normally.
I got to say, I'm very impressed. You got injured playing the game. You fought through it. You tried to hide it. Sometimes you had the sling on. Other times you didn't have the sling on.
I'm very impressed. You got hurt playing the game. He didn't get playing the game. He was playing a fool, maybe. Being reckless. But he was just like, it's okay, Matthew, don't worry about it. We don't need the liability here. How about you just go to the hospital? That's how I interpreted all this.
So good.
Foster, were you pretty sure that the Matthew was gonna be pulled or quit here, like after all of this, or how were you feeling about it?
It's interesting because they kind of, the way that it kind of looked is that he kind of like was like, I'm just gonna keep staying here, and they're like, okay, and then 9 days passed, and then he's like, okay, well, you know what, I think I'm hurt, and he's like, okay, we're going to remove you then, right? And then he's like, that's the cost of the game. And, you got hurt playing the game. And I'm like, no, you didn't get hurt playing the game. you hurt on your own account by making a dumb decision.
Right. Yeah, that's. But he was just. Then he was injuring himself, like going for keys and help. He's like, you were helping your tribe. Was he? Or was he just like.
He lifted that heavy box.
Yeah, but he's
there's
on a
no one else on his tribe that's strong. Oh, wait.
Brandon? Brandon's on that tribe.
Yeah,
Kane's on that tribe. They don't need him to lift the box.
Well, Brandon ended up almost falling apart in that one challenge, so maybe he didn't want to risk another person going down.
Yeah, Matthew, I think, is just like this super competitive person, and I think he's good at most things, so it's. I think this was hard for him, of course. It'd be hard for anybody, if you're on the show and you want to keep going. Nobody wants to have to be pulled, but you have to know that that's always the chance, It could be as simple as you step on a rock and get a cut in your foot and you get an infection. That's all it takes. It takes very little for you need to be pulled from this game. We've seen it time and time again. You might smash your head off of a post in the first minutes of a challenge, and give yourself brain damage. Who's to say?
Well, we can quickly talk about the people who were previously removed. Right, Jonathan Penner, infection to a punctured knee. Right, James, Gravedigger, infection to his finger. Was it Joe Dowdy, infected leg? Mike, Brosari, low blood pressure. Russell Swan, dehydration, low blood pressure. Courtney, was it broken wrist after awkward fall? Colton, bacterial infection. Shamar Thomas, grain of sand in his eye. Like grain of sand in your eye.
Grain of sand in your eye. Seems like you don't need. Do you need to be pulled from the game for that? Is that something?
Potential damage to his cornea because he was rubbing it constantly. Right.
Okay. I guess they have to take it.
He couldn't see.
If you have to go to a hospital, they will not let you come back.
Yeah.
That's unlike Big Brother, which we've seen people have. They have let people leave Big Brother and go get medical attention.
Eric, was it Reckenbach, dizzy due to state of starvation. Caleb, heat stroke.
Beast mode cowboy.
Yeah, beast mode cowboy. Neil, knee infection. Joe Del Campo, bladder infection or bladder issues. Was it Pat, Cusack, potential back injury. Jackson Fox, lithium usage disclosure, which was my pick two things ago. And then we got Bruce with the hit. Head trauma.
So how many do you have a count there of how many people all time?
I think we were at 15.
15 in what we have 44 seasons. Right?
Yeah,
that's not too bad. Yeah. I guess that's almost one every other season.
Oh, sorry, I didn't include. I think I didn't include two, which is the obvious Fallen Fire.
But does Matt? In season 2, right? But does this fall into a different category because he's not forced to leave? But I guess
some of the people some of the people weren't forced to leave. They were told you have to leave due to potential
long-term issues. But that's not what's told to Matthew. He's not they're if you have they said he probably had a large tear in his shoulder. It was probably after this many days, it was probably more severe. But there's not we're not given any more Jeff's say, hey doctor, tell me what this could mean for his long-term health, or there was nothing like that. If he doesn't get medical attention, he might lose the use of his hand. If they had said something like that, I feel
but is that any more fair than what happened to Jackson? where it's like, hey, you might have a potential issue in terms of coming off some drugs that you used to take, so we can't have you in the game anymore.
Oh, right,
Like-
because the guy with the withdrawal, they got
Yeah.
pulled. Right.
He got pulled with withdrawal before he had withdrawal.
They're like, just in case you could have withdrawal, so we're pulling you now, so you don't go crazy on people.
So this is just course correction.
Yeah, it was course correction. Yeah, so we leave Matthew like just crying and being in agony. Basically, we come over here to it's just Jam and Josh kind of talking about how they're going to vote out Carolyn. Effectively is kind of what we're seeing. But it was kind of like this triangle, like. It was either they were going to vote out Carolyn or they were going to vote out Jam. I don't understand what kind of broke down really with Josh and Carolyn exactly, other than I think Carolyn just got tired of his like kind of bitch face energy. So like,
no, I think it's just Josh does not trust Carolyn emotions to be in check enough for them to
he's
have
only
any
here because
plans.
Carolyn saved his ass like last tribal.
Well, he would have been here if he regardless using his idol.
But he wasn't going to use it. He wasn't going to use it unless Carolyn had tipped him off. So he owes his life in this game to Carolyn. The smart thing is like, okay, sorry, Jam, I love you, but me and Josh are kind of working together now because, and I think Carolyn knows that like Jam's never going to truly trust Carolyn again, So it's like it's not even worth it to me. Like you rarely see this where somebody backstabs or blinds somebody, leaves somebody out of a vote like that, and then like they end up being able to reconcile that late in the game. That just I find that always erodes the trust, And
okay. So possibility of a situation. So because we're in this 3-person dynamic, does one of the 3 use their shot in the dark?
Potentially, yes.
Well, but except Carolyn shouldn't. But
Carolyn doesn't need to. She has her idol. She didn't want to use it. She was considering, if she felt dangerous or in danger enough, I think she would have burned her idol and used it. But I think it was kind of. It seemed like it was coming down to. Although it didn't. It seemed like Jam was in the best position in this coming out of this, which is crazy to me. If they had gone to tribal, right? Jam should be the easy target. It should be easy for Foster. I keep calling him Foster. It should be easy for Josh and and Carolyn to work together to vote out Jam now, right?
There was only one scenario where, to me, Jam was going to get voted out, right? Or eliminated, I should say, not voted out. Is that Carolyn uses her idol, right? And Josh uses Shard in the Dark, right?
Well, why can't Josh and Carolyn just vote together and vote out Jam?
No, I'm just saying, like, this is the only situation I could foresee with what we're presented on screen of Jam getting eliminated, because it seemed like it was either Josh or Carolyn that was going home, not Jam.
Right, yeah, which I think is unique, extraordinary for Jam.
The only way Jam was going to get eliminated is if Carolyn used her idol, Josh played Sean the Dark and was successful, and then you have an idol Geddon situation.
Yeah, what happened if like all of them suddenly are immune and they can't vote? Nobody can vote.
Jeff is like, well, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to see that play out.
They vote on a palm tree, as Jam said. They vote on a palm tree.
I want to see that play out one day, where like everybody at Tribal's immune, nobody can be voted out. There's too many advantages, and there's nothing to be had. And he just says, "Well, I guess you all have to get home now," or they all get voted out. There's probably some contingency in the rules about this, but.
Jeff just has like a briefcase full of money. He's like, all right, I guess I get the money this season. You guys want to play it this way? Bye.
Guys, I want to talk about this whole segment here where they go on their little quest together. We got Brandon, Danny, and Carolyn who, they get to know each other, of course, as you go on here. There's no advantages, of course. They end up, they didn't get tribe swapped. They didn't get a chance for an advantage, but there's at least that threat there. No, they're going to enjoy a break from the heat together and share a light snack. How nice. I thought this was very interesting, this whole, I got to get a shot of these guys, like a wide shot of these three, because it was Brandon and Danny.
Okay.
Team Daryl
that you have to get.
Team Daryl in our draft, guys, is Brandon and Danny. And they like these two were just like loving each other. They're like, oh, you're a competitor, I want to work with you. And they're just completely ignoring Carolyn. This was amazing. I thought this was like, you guys are two dummies.
And
like,
she drops such obvious hints, and it's like, are you all like just totally like idiots where you don't recognize the social dynamics of what's going on?
I just think they had complete like they don't place any value in a player like Carolyn. It seemed like they're like
they did. It's like, I wouldn't vote you out because you're not even close to a threat.
You're not even close to a threat. You're like a non-threat. Like you're nothing, because they're just thinking in terms of like who's going to win. Only one person gets to win immunity, guys, every like tribal. So maybe two sometimes, but there's by no means. And sometimes these challenges are not based on being a football player or like holding something up. They could be just like who could stand on a post longer. I think could see Carolyn winning certain types of challenges over these guys easily. Yeah. I just like could they be any more like obtuse? Basically about the whole thing. Yeah. And they just like they start leaving her out of the conversation. They also bring out like, oh yeah, and we're gonna get together with Josh once we get together. Josh looks at like, because they think Josh is like a similar kind of a player. And she was like, now my mission is to get these guys out in like the merge. Like I loved this. This was great. Foster, how did you feel?
I was excited to see that there was an opportunity for them to break up we get the three selected again, because I think that I was like, oh, maybe they're doing this more often. Maybe this is an opportunity to shake up the game more, right? And then it was just a lunch.
But I think it's a very important lunch for it going into this merge, because
I think it's not. Well, Dave, okay. Team Daryl is not going very far.
I agree.
Because no one's gonna, in this day and age in Survivor, no one's gonna follow them, right? And Danny's gonna survive because he does well. Brandon's gonna be the first target, I think, once he gets to the merge.
Team Daryl, yeah. I agree with you. I think Team Foster is much better positioned than Team Daryl going into this merge.
Definitely.
Just
are we? I'm excited, but we don't have to do it just yet. But I am excited to do our draft update now that you're
bringing these up. Yeah, well, we'll finish out the episode. There's not much more to go, but doesn't Carolyn look so different from her original cast photo? Like,
have you not seen her Twitter stuff or social stuff?
No, I haven't looked her up at all.
That's great.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's maybe one of my new favorite all-time Survivor players, I think. Gonna see the commercials. Okay. And so she comes back off this boat, and she was just like, hey, jam, and like we're getting rid of Josh. It is over. You and me. Yeah, this is here. It's like you and me. And jam
gave me the facial.
you and me. It was kind of like like Night of the Roxbury with Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan, like you and me. It's good. No, okay.
So great.
I think just everyone underestimates Carolyn in this game. I think they just kind of write her off all the time. Like obviously this purple tribe did, and she's one of like the few people left, and maybe in the best position. But yeah, they're kind of going back and forth. Yeah, the fake idol here where he's showing it, and like, and how Carolyn's like, well, I looked at that paper 2 days ago. You don't think I read it? You don't think I know what a paper looks like?
It's so great. It's so great. Like, that's the same paper you showed me. Like, I would forget that.
Yeah. The game just changed. And then they're like, aren't these tree mail beads?
Oh my gosh. I cackled. Oh my gosh.
Literally falls apart. And then they were like laughing their asses off about it came apart.
Oh my gosh.
Fell apart somehow, and I okay, who guys, if they had, oh yeah, this is where we get the stuff about Josh's background. Kent State, guys. College of podiatric surgery, foot surgery. But ultimately, I feel like this. Do you think that Jam and Carolyn were going to come together here for this tribal, and they were going to vote out Josh?
I think so.
I think like this was almost certainly going to happen. I swear on everything. It was just really coming down to what this came down to Jam Jam. He was the swing vote. So what was Jam Jam going to do? I think ultimately. I'm going to go with like Caroline. Do you think I'm going to go with someone with a bootleg idol?
I like the fact that when they find out it's bootleg, like it's falling apart, that they both kind of just laugh at it.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm not working with this clown. It's just, it was great.
How is that trust if you're like showing off a bootleg idol and trying to pass it off?
Well, it's just because, like just Josh is good. Probably he's very, very smart. I'm sure he's very good at like doing this medical profession that he does as a surgeon. But a lot of times these people who are incredibly specialized, they're out of touch with reality because they think because they're good at this one thing that they're good at everything in life, and they're not necessarily. Like he just expects people to kind of accept what he says because that's kind of what he's used to in his everyday. He's sort of just out of touch. And then of course Jeff comes to see them. It's not the first time this has ever happened, but it's not an everyday thing. Where he shows up here to kind of give the news. Matthew's been pulled, and you're not going to tribal, and they get a stay of execution. So, Jaemeel, you already kind of said boo to this.
Boo.
Carolyn also said boo to this. She was like, I was going to vote Josh. I was going to vote him out for trying to pass off his bootleg idol. I was going to, hand him his ass, and it didn't happen. So
yeah, it's disappointing.
I like, oh, too bad because I wanted to vote you out. But I like that like playful competitiveness they have even with these guys. Understanding can't happen here. So that's the end of the episode. Effectively, we can kind of look ahead just to next week a little bit. Not NCIS Hawaii, which I don't care about.
No one should.
What's this Alabama Elementary? Yeah, drop your buffs. Here we go. They're getting the boats together. It looks like they're going to live on the green beach.
The one that doesn't look like garbage.
Yeah. That look there, just from Carolyn a moment
She just
ago.
shakes her head like, oh, these garbage people.
Like, I think she's got. I don't think they're gonna want to vote her out right away, but they're gonna kind of figure this out. Like that right there. That look. She's got eyes that can cut through you, man. Okay. And then, of course, we get Matthew's little goodbye. Oh, I did some good things. It was great. I have no regrets except for climbing that.
You see how I lifted that box and I hit those keys?
Yeah, we saw it, man. You'll be remembered forever for everything you ever brought to this. He's just a cautionary tale. I think that's ultimately what Matthew is. Okay, guys. So coming up on 52 minutes, let's just remind ourselves where we stand in our Survivor draft, as we have now voted out these people. So Matthew, who got leaves this game on day 11, he was second overall in our draft by Jen. With that. Jen is out of this game now, or this draft effectively. So we got Jaemeel. You're going into this draft with Matt B and Lauren. Who the hell's Lauren?
She's the inconsequential person that was sweeping.
I forgot to mark off that Sarah is out of here too. Okay, so Jeff only has Jamie Lynn left. I don't think is Jamie Lynn winning this game?
No, she's not.
No, I don't think.
Dave, cross her out right now. You should do it.
Right. It's a preemptive cross out here.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
She might deserve it. Team Daryl, as we mentioned, Danny and Brandon. We'll see, but
there's no way both of them make it to the end. No way.
Maybe one of them, but I don't see. I think Danny would have a better chance of winning than Brandon, but maybe I'm wrong. Like it's hard to say which one is more likable, or I guess more specifically,
both of them are unlikable.
Which is more unlikable. So, but I can't see that. Jam Jam is definitely a likable person, but not like a comp threat or anything like that.
Yeah.
It seems so on Sean, but I think then we got Foster.
How did everyone feel about Claire's game? Everyone remember Claire's game?
Claire.
Yeah, no one remembers Claire.
Claire was the one who never did any challenges.
I think so.
Yeah. We like Amanda's out of this. She's been out for like the second episode. Foster, myself. I got Josh and Carson. You got Josh is not winning this game. There's no way in hell Josh is winning this game. So I gotta pin all my hopes to Carson at this point.
Good luck to Jane.
With Franny and Heidi.
Yeah, good luck.
Franny and Heidi. Franny, I think, is the better option here.
Franny has at least one vote on the jury.
Yeah, because unless it's her and Matt at the end.
No.
No way in hell that happens, right? They don't.
If Franny has to make a decision, Matt or the money in the Sole Survivor, she's taking Sole Survivor.
But Matt would be the perfect person you wanted to end, because I'm like, hey, Jaemeel, could you please remind us? Was it Jaemeel or Heidi? Could you please remind me what you thought about Matt's game? Is Matt playing?
No, he's just there to like flirt, basically. It feels like.
Yeah.
It would make sense to me that they would want to vote out Matt next, like Matt B as the first boot of the merge, because like they'll get to the Soka Beach, and then they'll all find out that Matt and Franny are like kind of a showmance of sorts, and they're like, well, let's just vote one of them out. Let's vote out Matt B, like, and get that over with, or vote out Franny. Either way.
Or Carolyn goes to Matt. The Nerd Alliance comes together with Carolyn in it, and then Carolyn convinces them to vote out either Brandon or Danny, because they're not included in their plans.
Well, yeah, think about it. So you get Matt B, Franny, you get maybe Kane and Carson, two more nerds. Throw Carolyn as like the leader of this. Now you have 5 of this merge of 12. That's a lot of votes. Who else can they pick up? Like to work with? Maybe Jam. Why not? Yeah. So that's 6. They could run this game without even having to win a single immunity.
It's true.
Right. So that could be interesting. Like that the people who are not like the big powerful people, they'd all just, they run the rest of this with, that's what I hope is the story of the season to come. So guys, we're about halfway through now. We have about
I'm excited for the merge. I think most of the players you kind of at the beginning, you kind of knew who you were hoping to be like after the merge, and a lot of those players are still around.
Yep. Next week's episode is called Survivor with a capital S. Not some...
Jokers. Jokers.
That's what we're coming with. Yeah, and me too. Okay, well, I think that we've said all we can say, right? There's anything else that we didn't touch upon? It's not like Big Brother where there would be like digital dailies or whatever the heck's going on.
Have you been watching the digital dailies?
Only what you've been describing, which is not. I'm like, these sound like boring as hell.
Oh,
I heard that they haven't. I heard that they haven't. There was something today, maybe that came out, but I don't know. I have been watching your Big Brother podcast, Big Brother Canada, guys. I know I haven't been able to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will join you in the near future once Picard ends, at least on Thursdays. And that's been good. So if you guys didn't know, here on Super Mario Brothers Podcast, we are covering Big Brother Canada 11. So if that's something you're following, check us out. Yeah, here we go. Here's the cast, right? Ooh, no, that's a background. That's a Survivor background. Where's my cast when I need it? Oh, there they are. Yeah. Okay. Well, I texted Josh a lot today about it. I kind of said my piece to you last night, Jaemeel. But this is not a Big Brother Canada specifically podcast, but if you want to hear some interesting takes, check us out over there. Plus all our past seasons. You should also check out. We talk about the MCU stuff, the Marvel Cinematic Universe here sometimes too, called the Mary Mater Marvel Society, the MMMS. Dave, Davan, Jaemeel, most recently Quantum Mania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I think we'll be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be the next installment. So look out for that in the near future. And we're part of a united federation of podcasts with some amazing shows. If you didn't know, we got a great guy, my cousin and yours, Davan Skelhorn, who's on a podcast every Friday called KBBL, talking about The Simpsons with his buddies Baker and Francis. I've been on it a bunch of times. You should always check that out. They're only in the second season, and they have like 29 to go. Or no, more than that probably. There's Hold Up, a movie podcast every second Wednesday with Davan and Murphy, who they talk about 3 movies, 2 from the pre-2000s, 1 from the post. They're going to be doing hacker movies next. I think they're doing like Hacker and the Net and some other movie I never heard of. But
Guns Akimbo. Guns Akimbo.
It seems like a Murphy pick. We're gonna
Guns Akimbo is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. And then
I said it was pretty cool. I didn't necessarily say it was good.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to be positive here. Davan also has the X-Rated podcast every Tuesday, talking with Andre about X-Men, the animated series. Andre also has the Graphics History podcast, interviewing people from graphic novels to film to TV and all kinds of interesting people. That you should listen to that audio podcast, the Hellbound podcast, every Wednesday with Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan, talk about horror and horror-related events. And Live Long and Podcast, our Star Trek themed channel, where we talk about Star Trek all the time, like Enterprise, Deep Space Nine. This Thursday, we're talking about Star Trek Picard. That's why I can't be here on the Big Brother Canada podcast. I'll be talking about that show, which has been really entertaining so far, and Star Trek Strange New Worlds in the near future, plus great things like Star Trek Radio Theater, our Locutors of Trek audio podcasts, and all kinds of great things in the science division, like Debate 9. Coming up soon, we're doing an all-women's debate with Ashley Millard hosting. And speaking of debates, last but not least, Trivial Debates coming up this Saturday. A much-typed episode hosted by the World Mind, Chris Murphy. We got a pro wrestling themed episode with Jaemeel Robinson himself going against Jason R. Phillips and Andre Mayette in some interesting ones. Guys, I saw your answers today. I saw all the answers today as Murphy sent those over to me. The music round disappointed me. I'm just gonna say this in advance. But about the best entrance theme song or whatever,
it wasn't the best entrance theme song.
What's getting the biggest pop? What's getting the biggest pop?
Yes, and I think that what you were expecting from that wasn't going to happen the way that you think it was, because the amount of nostalgia that has been heavily used, I think is like shows that what would normally you would think would get a big pop wouldn't anymore, because it's just been heavily played out.
Well, I guess if you're talking about, if you're framing it around the context of today, I guess I'm thinking more of like just what I would pop off with, if I heard like, the Macho Man theme song, or there's so many great ones from the past. I'm a World Wrestling Federation guy. I stopped watching when it became World Wrestling Entertainment. I like federations.
You missed out a lot because
20 years.
Well, I think this past year had one of the best storylines in wrestling history, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
One of the best.
That's high praise.
Right?
Well, it's about time.
It's about time.
Yeah.
And my TV answer, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I was the last one to submit my answers, and that was one of the reasons why.
The sports round really, I think it's going to be a really fun one. I think that you all have some interesting choices for sports, and the wild card one is cool too. So there's lots of good stuff. Check that out. Trivial Debates. Okay, let's get out of here, guys, and move on for the night. Yeah, Foster, Elizabeth Foster here.
This is like it's done. Let's go.
Let's go. So
no, it's all good.
Okay, we'll go out on this clip here from Jeff, which I thought was so funny, where he shows up here to talk to Jam and Carolyn and Josh at the end of the episode. So what was supposed to happen didn't, and then anyway. So we'll see you next time here on the Super Mario Brothers Podcasting. Take it easy. Thanks, Jaemeel. Thanks, Josh, and good luck on Big Brother Canada tomorrow night.
So what was supposed to happen is now not going to happen. And the question is, what will happen instead?
What will happen instead? I don't know, Jeff. Let's find out. See you next time, everybody.